Hello everyone, and welcome to my Young and the Restless official 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Will Mitch and Sienna go to Genoa City or remain in Los Angeles? Mitch Bacall and Sienna Bacall seem like dubious characters. However, before viewers understand who they are, their backstories must be expanded upon. Sienna and Mitch currently reside in Los Angeles, California. However, one or both of the new individuals may eventually relocate to Genoa City, Wisconsin, depending on the evolving plot involving Noah Newman and a connection to Holden Novak. For a variety of reasons, more and more GC residents are taking flights to Los Angeles. After the terrible accident that left him looking like a Halloween mummy's mask, the Newman family is visiting the Noah recast. As part of a romantic triangle, Holden, Claire Newman, and Kyle Abbott are pursuing one another throughout the city. At the hospital, Nick Newman and Sharon Newman were given their son's personal belongings. As they were looking through the little bag they were given, his smartphone happened to ring. How soapy. Nick decided to answer a call from a person on Noah's contact list. He was acquainted with Sienna. More questions were created by her evasive responses to Nick's urgent queries and her tendency to hang up. That came after Matt Cohen's character, Burrow, a purported police detective, questioned Noah's parents. Later, Burrow was spotted talking on the phone with an unidentified individual, who was easily identified as Mitch. Holden gave Claire a tour of his former home, Los Angeles. Going to Sienna's nightclub was part of that. However, the conflict between Holden and Braun's character might have been expected, so why would he go there? The verbal exchange between Holden and Sienna didn't bother Claire. However, Sienna's patronizing remarks about Audra Charles piqued her interest. It matters what Holden did while residing in California. It will undoubtedly surface and affect his developing friendship with Claire, maybe shattering his dreams of a committed relationship with her. Howarth, Braun, and Cohen are daytime veterans, and their arrival is noteworthy. It will be interesting to observe whether these three turn out to be temporary contributors or, as previously mentioned, whether they become an integral part of GC. Earlier this year, Chance Chancellor, a legacy character, and Damian Kane, a freshly introduced character, were subtracted, suggesting the arrival of at least two new characters. They are present, nevertheless. The Newman family is impacted when Mitch and Sienna are linked to Noah. With the exception of Kevin Fisher, who is very seldom seen, there are presently no active characters on the GC Police Department, and Detective Burrow may take Chance's place. As the autumn winds pick up and Wisconsin's winter draws near, this captivating, film noir-like plot, set in Los Angeles, seems ideal for a Midwestern transfer. Roger Howarth makes his debut as Mitch, and Sharon's digging causes problems. The investigation by Sharon Newman will cause problems. There will be a lot of excitement since Roger Howarth will also make his debut as Mitch Bacall. Michael Mealer's character Kyle Abbott will demonstrate in Genoa City that he will stop at nothing to make his son happy. Kyle will have to comply with Harrison Abbott's bizarre costume design, which may be a little awkward. Nevertheless, Kyle will use every effort to ensure that Harrison has an enjoyable and unforgettable Halloween. Harrison may confess to missing Claire Newman because she's still out of town, but it sounds like Kyle's efforts will pay off and leave Harrison on cloud nine. In Los Angeles, Claire will keep becoming closer to Holden Novak. According to YNR spoilers, Claire will present Holden with a previously unseen side of herself. If Claire dons a costume and transforms into a character for the evening, the adults might also have some fun. As they celebrate Halloween together, Holden might take Claire back to the shadow room. She will investigate what really happened to Noah Newman with Sharon. As it happens, Sharon's endeavor to solve the case will put her safety at grave peril. Sharon will need to keep an eye out for potential threats, just like Noah did. Unfortunately, Sharon will put herself in danger as a result of her investigation. It's also important to note that Roger Howarth will debut in Friday's episode as Mitch Bacall. Mitch will have the chance to get in touch with Sienna Bacall and exchange updates as a result. As Sharon fights with the threat that is approaching her, Mitch might run into her. Will Mitch be Sharon's ally or the cause of her fear? In the ever-twisting world of the young and the restless, new faces often bring new storms, and that couldn't be truer for Mitch Bacall and Sienna Bacall. On the surface, they appear to be two enigmatic figures who entered the canvas under mysterious circumstances, but behind their poised exteriors lies a tangled web of secrets, lies, and unexpected connections that stretch all the way to Genoa City. As fans know, every stranger in Los Angeles seems to have some tie to someone back in Wisconsin, and as the lines blur between both cities, the question becomes, will Mitch and Sienna remain in the City of Angels, or will the drama pull them east to Genoa City, where destiny and danger await? Mitch and Sienna currently reside in Los Angeles, their lives orbiting around a glamorous, smoky underworld filled with secrets, shadowy deals, and people who wear too many masks to count. But their connection to Noah Newman and Holden Novak might just be the bridge that pulls them into the orbit of Genoa City's most powerful families. Viewers know that whenever the Newmans or the Abbotts become involved with outsiders, chaos soon follows. And with the fallout from Noah's mysterious accident and the re-emergence of Holden's tangled past, there's no question that these two new players could soon find themselves swept into the heart of Genoa City's storm. The threads first began to unravel when Sharon and Nick Newman were summoned to the Los Angeles hospital to collect their late son's belongings. The grief in Sharon's eyes was unbearable, the pain raw and unfiltered, as she held Noah's phone in her trembling hands. But then, just as Nick was about to power it off, the device began to ring, an incoming call from a woman named Sienna. That one ring became the catalyst for everything that followed. Nick's instinct told him to answer, to grasp at any remaining trace of his son. Sienna's voice, however, was elusive, cool, and evasive, too calm for someone supposedly mourning the same man. Her cryptic words and abrupt hang-up left Nick with more questions than answers. Who was she to Noah? And why did she seem terrified to talk? Meanwhile, Detective Burrow, a smooth-talking officer with a knack for deception, made his presence known. Matt Cohen's portrayal brought a calculated intensity to the role, a man with one foot in the law and the other in something much darker. Burrow's questioning of Sharon and Nick was oddly hollow, as if he were gathering information for someone else rather than solving a case. Later, when he was caught whispering into his phone, murmuring to a man named Mitch, the truth began to glimmer through the cracks. Noah's death wasn't an accident. And Mitch Bacall, whoever he was, might be the key. In Los Angeles, Holden Novak has been taking Claire Newman under his wing, showing her pieces of his past, some tender, others better left buried. The pair's chemistry has been undeniable, and their scenes together shimmer with both vulnerability and danger. When Holden brought Claire to a dimly lit nightclub owned by Sienna Bacall, the energy shifted. Sienna, played with sly elegance, immediately exuded that trademark soap opera mix of charm and threat. Her interactions with Holden were filled with subtext, the kind of tension that suggests a shared history filled with betrayal. Claire, to her credit, kept her composure, but Sienna's subtle digs about Audra Charles clearly got under her skin. The look in Claire's eyes said it all. She was intrigued but wary. And why shouldn't she be? Holden's time in California is turning out to be far more complicated than anyone expected. Whatever he was involved in while living there, it's something that's bound to follow him, and the consequences may soon spill into Genoa City. If Claire continues her relationship with Holden, she may find herself dragged into the murky waters he's tried to escape. And if Sharon, Nick, or even Victor Newman uncover that Holden's past entangles with Noah's death, the entire Newman family could turn on him in a heartbeat. The addition of Roger Howarth, Mitch, Tamara Braun, Sienna, and Matt Cohen, Burrow, to Y&R's cast lineup feels deliberate, signaling a new chapter rich with intrigue and noir undertones. The question that fans are now asking is, are Mitch and Sienna here for a limited arc, or will they become permanent fixtures, the next generation of manipulators and power players? Given how quickly they've become intertwined with the Newman saga, it's hard to imagine them staying in the shadows for long. Interestingly, their emergence coincides with Chance Chancellor's departure and Damian Kane's mysterious disappearance. Both men were key figures in law enforcement and crime subplots, and their absences have left a vacuum that someone has to fill. Enter Detective Burrow and Mitch Bacall. Burrow may act as the new face of law and order in Genoa City, or, more intriguingly, the wolf in sheep's clothing. As for Mitch, his connection to Burrow suggests he's no stranger to shady dealings, but with Roger Howarth's knack for portraying complex anti-heroes, viewers might soon find themselves sympathizing with him against their better judgment. Mitch's story is already poised to collide with Sharon's. As Sharon continues her independent investigation into Noah's death, she'll inevitably stumble across a series of clues that point toward Mitch's involvement, directly or indirectly. Their paths will cross, perhaps violently at first, but what if Mitch isn't her enemy? What if he's the one person who can tell her the truth? Sharon's compassion often blinds her to danger, and her drive to uncover the truth could easily place her in harm's way. Mitch might become her reluctant ally, drawn to her vulnerability and determination even as his own past threatens to destroy them both. Meanwhile, life in Genoa City continues, and Kyle Abbott remains one of its most restless residents. Michael Mealer's Kyle has been spinning in circles, a devoted father to Harrison yet a man haunted by his own impulsive mistakes. As Halloween arrives, Kyle's storyline offers a brief reprieve from the tension in Los Angeles. Harrison's whimsical costume plans are chaotic, yet heartwarming. Kyle will do anything to see his son smile, even if it means parading around in a ridiculous ensemble. But beneath the laughter and candy-coated surface, Harrison's innocent admission that he misses Claire adds another layer of sadness. The boy's longing mirrors the complex emotions brewing in the adults around him. Claire, far away in Los Angeles, is navigating her own awakening. Her bond with Holden is growing stronger, and according to spoilers, she'll reveal a side of herself that fans have never seen, confident, daring, and maybe even reckless. As they attend a Halloween event at Sienna's club, the Shadow Room, the tension simmers. Costumes, music, and champagne make the night electric, but beneath the glamour, secrets are ready to explode. Holden's past with Sienna, his guilt over Noah, and his attraction to Claire will all collide in a single evening of temptation and truth. Sharon, meanwhile, will push deeper into her investigation, refusing to let her son's death be dismissed as an accident. Her intuition has always been her greatest weapon, and her greatest weakness. She'll start connecting dots between Detective Burrow's strange behavior, Mitch's name in Noah's contact list, and a series of payments made to a Los Angeles private account. It won't be long before Sharon realizes she's being watched. Someone will break into her home, leaving behind a single message scrawled on her mirror, "Stop digging." But Sharon Newman doesn't stop. Ever. As the stakes rise, Mitch will finally make his on-screen debut. His first scenes will show him in an abandoned warehouse, talking on the phone with Sienna about the Newman situation. His tone is calm but laced with guilt, a man who didn't mean for things to go this far but can't turn back now. Later, he'll cross paths with Sharon under tense circumstances. She'll recognize his voice immediately from one of the recordings she's found, and the confrontation will be electric. The air between them will crackle with danger and recognition. Sharon will demand answers, Mitch will warn her that some truths are better left buried. But when Sharon refuses to back down, he'll make a choice that changes everything, saving her from an ambush meant to silence her for good. That act of protection could redefine Mitch entirely. Could he be both villain and savior? And will Sienna, who's been quietly pulling strings behind the scenes, let him betray their plans? The Bacalls are clearly not just nightclub owners, they're power players tied to something bigger, something that stretches far beyond Noah's accident. If they end up in Genoa City, it won't be as visitors. It'll be as stormbringers. As winter approaches Wisconsin, the atmosphere in The Young and the Restless grows darker, colder, and more cinematic. The Los Angeles arc, steeped in mystery, betrayal, and forbidden attraction, feels like the calm before a storm that's headed straight for Genoa City. When Mitch and Sienna inevitably make the move, they'll bring with them the kind of high-stakes storytelling that shakes up families, ruins reputations, and births new alliances. For now, Los Angeles remains their playground, but Genoa City is their destiny. And when these two finally arrive, they won't come quietly. They'll bring every secret, every lie, and every ounce of danger they've been hiding in the shadows. The only question that remains is, will Genoa City ever be the same again once the Bacalls make it their home? The question of whether Mitch and Sienna Bacall will remain in Los Angeles or relocate to Genoa City is no longer just speculative. It has evolved into a central plotline that could redefine the entire Newman saga. With Los Angeles as the backdrop, their presence has already stirred a cocktail of intrigue, attraction, and suspicion. But the narrative threads are tugging inexorably toward Wisconsin, as every secret held in the City of Angels has an almost magnetic pull toward Genoa City, where the stakes are higher, the consequences sharper, and the ties to the Newman dynasty more inescapable. The first spark of this potential relocation came in the wake of Noah Newman's tragic accident, which had left the Newman family reeling. The hospital in Los Angeles became the stage for a chain of interactions that would ripple through both cities. Nick and Sharon Newman, grappling with grief that was still raw, encountered Sienna indirectly through Noah's smartphone. Each evasive answer, each abrupt hang-up, compounded the tension. Nick's suspicion grew by the day. Sienna's refusal to clarify her role in Noah's life only heightened the sense that Los Angeles held answers the Newmans desperately needed, answers that might only be revealed if she and Mitch entered their world in Genoa City. Meanwhile, Detective Burroughs' investigation added another layer of uncertainty. Matt Cohen's portrayal of Burrough blurred the line between law enforcement and covert operative. The man was always one step ahead, quietly reporting to unseen players and keeping tabs on the Newman family's every move. His conversation with Mitch on the phone hinted at deeper connections, suggesting that Mitch was far from a passive observer. Burroughs' presence implicitly warned that Mitch and Sienna were entangled in matters bigger than anyone realized, matters that would eventually affect Genoa City's most powerful families. In Los Angeles, Holden Novak's involvement with Claire Newman served as a counterpoint to the tension surrounding the Bacalls. Their relationship, delicate yet charged with possibility, was complicated by Holden's own history, a past with shadows stretching from the West Coast back to the Midwest. As Holden guided Claire through Los Angeles, taking her to landmarks like his former home and Sienna's nightclub, the layered drama became palpable. Sienna's subtle provocations and patronizing remarks toward Audra Charles weren't merely personal attacks, they were strategic, designed to test Claire's reactions, to gauge whether she could be manipulated or persuaded. Claire's curiosity, coupled with her inherent caution, made her a prime player in the unfolding dynamic. She was learning, perhaps too quickly, that Los Angeles was not just a city of lights and glamour, it was a city of secrets that could follow her home to Genoa City. Sienna's nightclub, the Shadow Room, became a nexus for the narrative. The space, drenched in dim lighting and pulsating music, mirrored the murky undertones of her character. Every interaction there, from the playful teasing of patrons to the pointed exchanges with Holden, was meticulously choreographed to reveal layers of her personality. Sienna was more than a nightclub owner, she was a strategist, a manipulator, and perhaps even a protector, though to what end remained unclear. For Claire, the experience was enlightening. She saw firsthand the duality of human nature, the way charm and danger could coexist in a single glance. And for the audience, these moments set the stage for the Bacall's eventual move to Genoa City. The storyline in Los Angeles began to converge with Genoa City when minor characters like Chance Chancellor and Damian Kane were quietly removed from the canvas. Their exits, though subtle, created a void in the narrative, a vacuum that Mitch, Sienna, and Burrough seemed poised to fill. With the GC Police Department currently understaffed, Burrough could easily assume a role that placed him in direct conflict or collaboration with Genoa City's most prominent figures. Simultaneously, Mitch and Sienna could exploit these gaps to establish themselves as pivotal players, manipulating events both from Los Angeles and, eventually, on the ground in Wisconsin. Halloween served as a thematic bridge between the two cities, blending the vibrancy of Los Angeles with the traditions of Genoa City. Kyle Abbott, with his whimsical commitment to Harrison's costume plans, offered viewers a glimpse of normalcy amidst the chaos. The father-son dynamic provided a humanizing counterpoint to the intrigue swirling around Sienna and Mitch. Yet even in the midst of candy, costumes, and laughter, the shadow of Claire's absence loomed. Harrison's longing for his friend reflected a broader tension. Relationships and lives in Genoa City were increasingly intertwined with those in Los Angeles. The connections forged on the West Coast had real consequences for the families in Wisconsin, creating a narrative inevitability, Mitch and Sienna's path would ultimately lead east. Roger Howarth's debut as Mitch was particularly impactful. His first appearances, marked by quiet intensity, showcased a man burdened by past decisions yet capable of decisive action. Mitch's ability to protect Sharon during a threatening encounter highlighted his duality. He was both enigmatic and morally complex, capable of both danger and redemption. His connection to Sienna added another layer, suggesting that any decision to move to Genoa City would be mutually beneficial, allowing the Bacalls to consolidate power while simultaneously protecting their own interests. Sharon Newman's investigative arc further accelerated the potential relocation plot. Her relentless pursuit of the truth regarding Noah's accident placed her in direct opposition to those who wished to keep secrets buried. Each clue she uncovered pointed toward Los Angeles, toward Mitch and Sienna, and toward the possibility that answers could only be obtained if the Bacalls themselves were present in Genoa City. Her encounters with Burrow and Mitch blurred the lines between ally and adversary, creating a sense of suspense that left viewers questioning every motive. Sharon's unwavering determination made her a magnet for danger, and Mitch's potential alliance with her hinted at narrative twists that could reverberate through both cities. The romantic entanglements only deepened the stakes. Holden and Claire's growing closeness was juxtaposed against Sienna's manipulations and Mitch's shadowy interventions. In Los Angeles, Claire began revealing facets of her personality previously unseen, confident, daring, and inquisitive. These revelations suggested that her experiences with the Bacalls would have lasting consequences, shaping her decisions upon returning to Genoa City. Holden's past, however, threatened to destabilize this budding romance. Any move by the Bacalls to enter Genoa City could put Claire in a position where loyalty, love, and trust collided, forcing her to confront choices she might otherwise have avoided. Victor Newman's presence in the narrative loomed as an inevitable catalyst. Known for his relentless pursuit of control and justice, Victor's interactions with the Bacalls would be fraught with tension. His ability to sniff out deception and manipulate circumstances made him a formidable force. If Mitch and Sienna moved to Genoa City, they would inevitably intersect with Victor's schemes, either as obstacles or unwitting allies. The delicate dance between Newman power and Bacall strategy promised to be explosive, setting the stage for conflicts that could define the coming months. Adding further complexity, the narrative allowed for secondary characters to influence the Bacalls' trajectory. Nick Newman's suspicion, Sharon's investigation, and even Kyle Abbott's domestic concerns intersected in ways that would make a Los Angeles stay increasingly untenable for Mitch and Sienna. The pull of Genoa City was not just geographic, it was narrative gravity, drawing them into the orbit of the city's existing power structures. Any delay in relocation would create tension, as events in Los Angeles increasingly demanded resolution in Wisconsin. Thematically, the potential move underscored classic Y&R motifs, the collision of past sins with present consequences, the entanglement of love and betrayal, and the inevitable exposure of secrets. Mitch and Sienna